Hello and welcome back to the Nation. Oops, get that down there just a little bit. Welcome back to the Nation Network. We are coming to you live on both Twitch and YouTube here with another exciting edition, I hope, of PWI Relive and Review, or Review and Relive, R&R. It all works out the same at the end of the day. I posted the link in the comments section below, so if anybody wants to jump on and get on board on this thing, if we have enough people, we can make a game out of it based on the stats that are in these magazines. But today's going to be a little bit different. First off, we're not going to run too long tonight because I think everybody wants to get warmed up for the shit show that is going to be the AEW. I want to say self-destruction or implosion. I just, more and more, I think this whole thing is a big work and that they are playing everybody along brilliantly. But that will all be determined in the not too distant future. So what we are talking about here today is the history of the WWF Magazine, and many of you probably bought at least one or more issues of that magazine over the years. I was a subscriber, thanks to my dad, who kept getting me new subscriptions every Christmas for, I think, somewhere near 4 years, maybe 5. I don't even remember now, but a lot of years. So I just kept on getting them to my mailbox. It was real easy to collect. Didn't have to go to the stores and hope. I'll shoot it to you over on the Twitter machine there. Got out of work late today, so I've been behind the 8 ball here with our 6:05 starting time. Gotta like that part. Let me see massages. I keep going to massages, but I never get a massage. What's up with that? Oh, it's message. Sorry. All right, I just shot you that. See if that works out better for you. I wonder if anyone else having that problem. Maybe other people are trying to join on. They can't for some reason. I don't know why the link wouldn't work, but there we go. All right, we're going to take a look at these covers once again. I believe it's the very first issue ever of Victory Magazine, which shows Superfly Jimmy Snuka leapfrogging the magnificent Don Morocco. I think there was only one other issue. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case, that there was one other issue, and that would be one with Sergeant Slaughter on the cover. both of these things are fetching a reasonably good price on eBay nowadays. Not enough to make me give it up, but enough to make me realize that there's a value in it. The WWF Magazine definitely is issue number 1 with Hulk Hogan on the cover there. That is the very first. I had every single episode issue there on after, up until maybe the last year or so of the magazine. So I've got a good 3/4 of every magazine. And then I had to get the last one when they announced that was going to be the last one. I had to jump in there and get that. So that would be the one with the shield on the cover. How times have changed. I mean, think about it from A to Z there, and it's all covered. Wrestling Purists, hello there. How are you? Well, you're right. It's not Saturday, D-Train, but on Saturday, we are going to be having some stuff at 6:05. We're going to be doing some more Superstar Pro Wrestling classic calls because you guys seem to like that. I had fun with it. So we're going to do that again, only this time it'll be an NWA TV show episode. So look forward to that. I know I am. 6:05. There won't be any problems, I don't think, on Saturday with that start time. Purist, the link is on the top here. Click on it, see what happens. And Keith O'Toole, we are not ranking a wrestler per se. We're going over these magazines and the history of the WWF magazine. It's going to be a little bit different. No, I'm not on Zoom. This is a thing called StreamYard. But again, the link, I can drop it again just in case for some reason it's not showing up. Actually, let me see something here. I just saw something else. I wonder if that's the issue. No, it says paste as plain text. I wonder if that makes a difference. I'm going to try it that way this time. Last time I posted it as a link. This time it's plain text. So maybe copy and paste that into a browser and see how that does for you. Oh, Purist is in. Give me a minute. I'll get to you in a sec. Let me just clean this up a little bit. I got a lot going on early on here. Jump that thing out of there. Hello there.
I'll get to you in a sec.
Hello.
Up a little bit. I got a lot going on early on here. Jump that thing out of
nice
there.
to finally see you. Going to want to turn the other thing volume down a little bit.
Oh, nice to see you too, man. Hello.
Turn your speaker down on the live feed because it's going to give feedback. It's off time.
Excuse me.
That's cool. How are you doing, man?
Doing great, man. It's very nice to meet you. On top of that, I'm quite excited. I mean, this is the first time I appear on YouTube with my face and all.
Well, look at that. Well, welcome. You never forget your first.
Never.
We're glad we could pop that cherry. Now, you're watching us where? Are you in Italy? Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Nice. My family heritage is from Italy.
You always say that.
Yeah, that's true. That's why. I don't know anything about it. Never been there, but my great-grandparents came over, and they were the first generation here in the U.S. So everything from there started
Like the
in
Papa
Italy.
family.
Exactly. Let's see. Clash of the Castle, AEW. Yes, Keith O'Toole. I caught all that stuff, and we actually did a big special program on it day or two ago. So by all means, go and check out some of the past recent streams, and you'll see all about that. Jay's in the house right now.
What's up, guys?
Hello, sir.
It's a party now. So we're talking about the old WWF magazine. Here is the original Victory magazine, which was the precursor to the WWF magazine.
Wow.
So that's got Snuka on the cover, and as I page through this here, oh my goodness. So we've got the world champion at the time, Bob Backlund, or I take it back, Hogan. Hogan wasn't champion. So Bob Backlund, the champion. You got Andre the Giant. Sergeant Slaughter was the #1 heel at that time. I'm not sure that he had quite turned babyface yet. Got Rocky Johnson selling his T-shirt on the other page. That is the father of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, if anyone doesn't actually know that. Let's see what else we got going on here. So they got a mailbag. Oh, here we go. Georgie Animal Steel tearing into a turnbuckle pad. That's always good.
As always.
And then we got Tito Santana throwing the drop kick. I believe that is Tito. Yes, it is. Let's see what kind of articles and stuff that they were running back here. Bob Backlund's T-shirt, as well as a fanny pack.
Nice.
Gotta love the 80s.
Wish I was born in there, but I was born in the 70s. Ooh, D-Train!
Oh, he even has the intro down.
Well, you made it, man.
D-Train!
But you have the echo.
I have the echo, no doubt about it. Well, this is the largest group we've had on screen one time yet, so let's see how that works out. We had a special, oh my God, I remember these. Lunch with your favorite wrestler.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I remember that.
I thought he said launch, as in a wrestler launches you.
No, although if you probably didn't treat them right, that could happen. But I do remember, I don't remember when, I did write one letter in trying to get that and didn't get it. But they would normally in other issues show pictures of the people that won and the little outing they went on. And I do remember one person selected Elizabeth back when Macho was heel in the early days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He followed along. He went to lunch with them. So even though it was like a kid, he went along for the ride, so to speak. All right, here we go. Starting things off with Rocky Johnson and a little backstory on him and him practicing and working out and all that good stuff. Didn't have time to get multiple pictures to upload. Just the cover shots there, so we'll just flip through this. Oh my goodness, you want to talk about a throwback? My other man, Tony Gurria. I was a big Gurria fan because he was one of the very first wrestling matches that I ever saw. He's the reason I got into wrestling. Him and Rick Martel were the tag team champions the day I turned it on. And by the time that show was over, they were not, because Mr. Fuji and Saito beat them by throwing salt in the eyes of Rick Martel and getting the cheap win. I was pissed. So I had to tune in the next week to see them get the belts back, which of course never happened. But from that point on, you just get all stuck in the storylines, and that's how it went. Let's see what else we got going here. We've had some really crazy weather here in Florida today. Yesterday wasn't that great either. A lot of heavy lightning storms and stuff. So if things drop out here, it's nothing I can control.
And you have no idea how it is here in Italy. You have no idea.
What's going on in Italy?
In the past week, it was raining. You wouldn't even believe. You have no idea.
Well, the rain I can deal with. The lightning I'm not a fan of.
Buonasera.
Buonasera. There you go. So let's see. The beach bum himself, Don Morocco. Got a couple page spread there, and they got a picture of him in Coach's Corner with Buddy Rogers back in the day. They kind of used that thing it was the precursor to Piper's Pit. And they used it sparingly at the time, but just enough to get Buddy Rogers into the Snuka storyline and become his manager for a short period. Train, how you doing?
I'm alive, brother. Waiting for
step one.
Waiting for that late September fireworks, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting tonight. Like I said, it's going to be a relatively short one. We're not going to go 2 hours tonight because I got my popcorn ready to see how much bullshit this really is and how much real shit this really is. I still think the whole thing is a mega work and everyone's getting trolled along beautifully, but let's see.
I'll disagree with that, but that's another story for another time.
If people aren't fired, then it's a work.
I mean, if it is, it's awesome.
It is punk.
Yeah, I mean, you got all the buzz in the world. You got a lot of people who know the business buying it, unless they're in on it. You know, maybe Meltzer's in on it. Who knows?
True.
All right.
No, Meltzer lost his mind, Carol.
Oh, yeah. Talking about Snuka, here is the incident that led to Buddy Rogers becoming his manager. He went up against the Don Morocco, here we go. He didn't even actually, Morocco came down to ringside during a TV taping and spit on Snuka. Snuka went launching over the top rope on top of Morocco. And then they just got into a Pier 6 and started tearing the clothes off Morocco. He was dressed in a full-on suit at the beginning of that and was down to his wrestling trunks at the end.
This magazine 85 or 86?
Oh, probably even earlier, dude.
Really?
This is prior to Hogan's. This is like 83.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the Victory magazine.
Oh, goodness God. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a precursor. And I think they only did two. I've only been able to find two. This and one with Slaughter on the cover, which I believe would have been the following because he had turned on the Sheik.
Oh, sure.
He had turned heel, or babyface, I should say, by going against Sheik. Gotcha. But I think right after that second episode or issue is when they went to WWF Magazine.
Gotcha.
To my surprise, though, as I haven't looked at this book in forever. You got Morocco merch, and back in those days, the heels didn't really sell merch. I didn't think, because we didn't want nothing to do with the bad guys.
Wasn't the Beach Bum T-shirt?
Yeah,
Of course, I mean, this was before kayfabe.
right. And well, it was during kayfabe, more technically, accurately, but at the same point, we just didn't like the bad guys. We'll get a Hulk Hogan shirt. We'll get a Hogan shirt and a Santana shirt and things like that. But fuck Morocco. And apparently, other people were buying it. I guess the heels were favorites back then too.
Right now?
What's that? What was that?
I said, right now, you know what I just thought? I would like to have a shirt right now of fucking saying, "You fans can stick it, brother."
Well, that might be coming. MJF is back after all. Here we got not Morocco, Pedro Morales. There you go. Another hot property at that time. Who's he locking up with in this picture is what I'm trying to figure out.
Pedro Morales still alive?
I haven't heard anything to the contrary.
Well, I haven't heard anything either way, I guess, though.
Oh, here we go again. Another fan favorite back in the day. The Polish Power, Ivan Putski.
Yeah.
His son didn't do quite as well, but...
No. Putski and Stasiak, not exactly the greatest second generations.
No.
All right, who are we looking at? Oh, yeah. We're talking about the Snuka situation with Morocco that occurred on TV. Here's another famous one between Slaughter and Bob Backlund. And we see here Slaughter taking out the riding crop. So if you don't remember this storyline, or if you weren't old enough to know about this storyline, Slaughter had challenged Bob Backlund to do this Harvard step-up test. Longer than anyone in recorded history had done it. Whether that's even true or not, who knows? So the entire program, while matches are going on and interviews
by the
are
way,
going
Jay,
on,
I checked it now. Pedro's dead since 2019.
Oh, he died?
Yeah,
Huh.
since 2019, man. I read it on Wikipedia, like any common man would do.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I didn't know that. Well, anyway, he was doing the Harvard step test ringside for the entire hour, practically. And then Slaughter comes out for his match, and now here's Backlund. Of course, he's exhausted. He's been going up and down these steps nonstop. And D-Train, you're looking good.
Heck of fun, baby. Woo!
So Slaughter gets in now, and he starts going to work on Backlund, who's been, running up and down the steps, throws him in the ring, sends him off the ropes, and he had that riding crop, that military riding crop that he'd always carried with him at the time. There you go. And he started whipping Backlund, and I mean, he left marks all over that man's back and chest.
Yeah.
That lasted 2 weeks worth. And now, granted, they probably shot television a month at a time, but when they went to the Garden, Backlund still had those marks on him.
Right.
Can't imagine sleeping on bed with it. Those marks,
Yeah, that was a memorable incident, to say the least. I'm amazed at this, because I don't know that he was wrestling for the WWF at the time, but they got a 2-page spread on Don Kernoodle. I don't recall ever seeing it. Don Kernoodle, he was actually teamed up with Slaughter after this when Slaughter left. He was more of a Mid-South guy, correct me if I'm wrong, Jay. Train?
I don't remember him being, if he was up there, I don't remember him being there. So,
But otherwise, he was where? Mid-South, right?
yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, and we got another Sergeant Slaughter color shot here. Which, again, at this point in time, he was a heel. Oh, yeah. All right, no magazine be complete without a centerfold. And that's not a bad one as far as centerfolds go, as I'm trying to peek around the corner, make sure it's centered in there.
You get a little bit of glare, but I see Andre and Bob Backlund.
And super fly. There we go.
You know, it's sort of something, you know. It's about Andre. I mean, I remember that at first in the 70s he was tall. I mean, quite tall. I mean, remember that?
Yeah, he was.
Back when he was holding that bottle beer, and it seemed like more like a bottle can. Well, during years, it seems to me that he got a bit smaller. How is that? I mean,
part of the aging process is we do tend to shrink a little bit. Plus, the man was 500 pounds, so he's got all that weight weighing down on him. I can tell you this. I saw him late in his career when he was wrestling Jake Roberts, and I was ringside for that. And he came down and kind of got near the rail, and I called him some words or whatever. And he turned around at me and just like, hey! And I was like, holy shit.
You're alive?
and I can tell you this. I've been 6 foot for a long time, and he was a lot taller than me.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I'm 6'4", and when I'm at the big show, I was still looking up at him. So
yeah, get a whiplash.
Oh, I was big. Man, my brother surpassed me. My little brother, that is.
Well, it happens.
Yeah, it sure does.
Here we got another 2-page spread between Andre the Giant and Big John Studd. This, of course, would lead into WrestleMania's big $10,000 slam match.
The 80s?
But think about it. I mean, when you see this, and this is from, like I said, around 83, 84, somewhere in there, that's how far ahead they were planting seeds for stuff like Andre and Studd to go to Mania. He might not know about Mania back then, but at the same time, he's definitely planning stuff. All right, this next one, good thing I'm looking at because I wouldn't have gotten it. We got Johnny Rods in a headlock by Sal Balomo and SD Jones leapfrogging over Ivan Koloff. And I do recall that. I remember Ivan Koloff doing his stint there. That was right before he went to the NWA again. Talking about the man, the myth, the legend. We got another 2-page. It seems like they're all doing 2-page spreads right now. This is on George the Animal Steel.
Totally random. Do they even make any wrestling magazines anymore?
They do, but not a lot, and you don't see them all that often. I think they're a little bit more quarterly instead of monthly. And obviously, it's not so much wrestling news because you got that already.
Because I think just the PW Insider, right? Or is that not even a public?
I don't know.
It's still available. You have to order it. It's not available like to pick up at the store or anything.
Gotcha. It's been a long time.
It has been. And when I go by magazine sections, I do tend to scan them and see if there's anything wrestling related. I know I've seen something, but I couldn't tell you that it was PWI or what.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, we've got Afa and Sika, the Wild Samoans.
Nice.
And of course, one of those two guys is the father of who? Roman Reigns.
No, the tribal chief. Remember that?
That's still pretty crazy.
The head of the Roman Empire. or the table. I don't know. I mean, at first it was Reigns like Roman, and I do know something about it because I'm Italian. And then it's choose the Roman
but they got
Empire. Now, that would be some crazy sci-fi stuff. I tell you that.
Another 2-page.
Roman legionnaires dressed like Samoans.
Of the Samoans.
Unless you're poor Samoa Joe.
Yeah, I wonder if they can get him back. So, and we'll probably do a little wrap up at the end here on some rumors that are running around at the moment. Let's see here.
Oh,
Yeah, my guy. Got some more Tito Santana action going on there, and I was a huge Tito fan, still am.
Well, who wouldn't be? I mean, the guy was, hey there, D-Train. You up tonight?
Those little frame-by-frame shots that they used to do back in the day. We got a pictorial on Captain Lou Albano from back in the day. I mean, he was the manager we loved to hate.
And then
I
it was
loved
Super
him.
Mario.
Jay, you loved him?
Oh yeah, I mean, I just how he acted, how he managed, just his outspokenness. I was a huge fan.
He was outspoken.
remember
That's for sure.
I remember that part in the 70s where he lost it because he didn't won the Manager of the Year award, and he slammed it on whoever was nominated at Manager of the Year and literally go it.
Yeah. No, he didn't do it. He got hit with it because it was him, Hillbilly Jim, and Bobby Heenan in a close call, and then Heenan was going to win, and then at the last minute, Hillbilly Jim said, I'm going to pledge my votes to Captain Lou. So then Lou got his votes plus Hillbilly Jim's votes, and he ended up winning it, and then Heenan, of course, attacked in typical Heenan fashion. We got another shot here of Ivan Putski and another 2-page write-up on Polish Power. And if you've never seen Polish Power Ivan Putski earlier in his career, he was fat. I mean, he was enormously fat.
Well, I think I saw something in the AWA documentary they did some years ago in the 2000s. I mean,
It could have been that. I don't remember where he was wrestling before he went to the WWF, because that's about what time I started watching. But I was amazed to see old matches of his prior to this and how much weight he lost to get in that shape. And he was over like Rover, boy. The fans loved him.
Well, he did those feats of strength in the AWA, you know, like rope pulling, how do you call it?
Yeah, tug of war and holding the trucks back.
That.
All that good stuff.
Now, on top of that, I would like to say, just for you three, if you never saw the AWA documentary, I suggest you do it now. I mean, there are quite some matches and some stuff too. There is some blood, quite literal blood. I mean, there is no Sir Bleed-A-Lot, but at least it's something. Of course, Sir Bleed-A-Lot is John Moxley's British name.
Yeah,
So that was the back cover there with Sergeant Slaughter on it. Do you remember the Masked Superstar in the WWF? And I say vividly.
Yep, he axed a lot of opponents in the day.
So what I remember about him in the WWF, one of his biggest runs was going up against Backlund for the world title, and how we got there. Eddie Gilbert was a rookie at that point in time in the WWF. And Eddie had gone through a pretty serious car accident, as most of us probably know. And luckily he was so young that he was able to bounce back from it. Took him a few months to get healed up, but he was back. And they used that as a storyline. So he comes back. His first match on TV is against some jobber. He gets the win. And the Masked Superstar comes out and gets him on the floor. Or he may have even been wrestling the Masked Superstar. I forget, maybe. But one way or another, the Masked Superstar gets him out on the concrete floor. And his finishing maneuver was that corkscrew neck breaker. Does it 2 or 3 times to him on the concrete floor. And then Backlund comes running out to the aid of Eddie Gilbert, who's this young rookie he has been helping train and get him reestablished after the car accident. So that led up to the big feud between the Masked Superstar and Bob Backlund. Anybody else have any other memories of the Superstar in the WWF?
All I remember when his face was painted.
Yeah.
Superstar?
And his little brief stint in No Holds Barred.
Oh,
yeah.
Never heard of it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
What was his name? Jake Bullet?
Sure, I'll take your word for it. That leads us to the very first ever issue of the WWF Magazine, with who else on the cover but the hottest property in the world at the time, Hulk Hogan, with the old green belt, which I still like that belt.
So you like me too, brother?
Yeah, something like that. Didn't take long. Page 2. They know what sells, man. The golden
see that
god.
smile? You guys see that smile? You see it? You know
I'd
what
have it
says?
too with that paycheck.
Nothing happened in 2015.
I would have that smile too with that paycheck.
No kidding.
Covering the victory and the new world champion as Andre douses him with the champagne. And that, of course, has to lead to the next thing, which is the guy he took the title from, the Iron Sheik and Classy Freddie Blassie.
I'm the sick. You stupid American asshole. I'll break your back. I'll make you humble.
That wasn't bad. More Iron Sheik. This is with the
Suck
championship
my
belt
dick.
over his shoulder.
Excuse me. I couldn't resist. It's from the Iron Sheik rap.
The Sheik with the belt on his shoulder, which right there is a collector's item. He only held it for 30 days. And then, of course, those clubs of his, which I'll tell you what, those are real deal. I've tried them. What?
I was going to say, I've had the opportunity to use those clubs. They ain't no joke.
Yeah,
No.
The clubs, yeah.
Because the weighting on them is all balanced off.
Right.
And the minute you bring it over your head, you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You'll be lucky if a shoulder is torn or something like that. I mean, it seems easy on the outside, but on the inside, ooh, rubber.
So the same way they're showing Hogan winning the championship, then you get a few pages in to find out the Sheik lost the champion, or Macklin lost the championship to the Sheik. Kind of out of order.
I can only say I met the Sheik twice. He was a nice man, but that was in the 2000s, not the 1980s. So.
And then we've got the first ever African American tag team champions in WWF history, Tony Atlas and Rocky Johnson, the Soul Patrol.
Yep.
And I remember that match vividly as well. Rocky Johnson, Tony Atlas, the tag team champs. They beat the Wild Samoans. The Soul Patrol.
The name.
Soul Patrol.
Soul Patrol.
What is that?
Soul Brothers, man. They had soul.
Yeah.
It was an 80s
I know, but
80s thing. This is a
You know,
great picture. Love this picture. Alpha looking Albano. You hit me in the head. That was great. Yeah, I remember watching that on Saturday morning. When that was one of those few times where a title changed hands on TV. And they brought the old wooden chairs in the ring at that time. And you know they were gimmicked.
Oh, yeah.
And Albano brings it down to hit, I think, Tony Atlas or Rocky, I forget which one, and rolls out of the way at the last second. And it splinters into the air magnificently with the frame of the chair still hanging around the neck of Alpha, who takes the nesty plunge back into the ring. And it was so good. So good.
Jeez, I don't even want to imagine.
Prime Time says, Tony Atlas and Rocky Johnson, good tag team. They were very good tag team.
Well, because
at the time, they were way over.
They both had the body, the physique, and even the moves. Well, that.
What is this? How much?
Back doing a drop kick with a high flying maneuver.
At this time of day, they were charging $14 for back issues. I don't know if I can get that price tag in. I thought that was for an annual subscription, which that would have been great too. But no, it's talking about back issues. I was, well, shit, I'm paying $15 for a magazine. I wouldn't pay that today. Ooh, here's another classic tag team, and they ended up having it out with the Samoans. The North-South Connection, Adrian Adonis and Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch.
The racist.
They would end up taking the tag team titles from the Soul Patrol.
Dick Murdoch? No, never racist. Come on now.
No. I remember something about a video about the top 10 most evil men in professional wrestling. Apparently, he was one of the KKK. I mean, don't know if he was one of the KKK. I doubt it, but I must tell you this. Whatever
I think
he
he was
was,
just a traditional redneck,
he was
really.
certainly wasn't serious. He was the other wrestlers. You have no idea.
So we're talking here about Santana and Morocco's feud. But you got a great picture of Morocco holding the old championship, and I love that green title. Anybody remember what happened to the green championship belt and why it went away?
Maybe two.
All right, so I'll do it. Santana and Valentine finished off their feud in a steel cage match that I still say is the greatest steel cage match of all time, just because of how the cage became part of the story. And after Valentine lost the belt, he was so infuriated that he grabbed the title belt, went into the cage with it. Santana was still out on the floor after escaping the cage. And Valentine just started waylaying that belt into the cage, smashing it over and over again until it was bent beyond recognition. And therefore, they had to retire it and get the new belt that we were more accustomed to, with the yellow and the white and the black strap.
So not quite Mr. Perfect style, but yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty much the way it looked from that point on for many years. It's just they kept on
What
changing.
happened to Hogan? I mean, if I recall correctly, the big green belt was destroyed by Hogan.
No, the green belt was just retired, and they got him something that looked better in their opinion, I guess. Anyway, I kind of like the green belt, but they just kept changing belts on him every couple of years. They got a newer one.
All right, all the
Santana once again.
I guess it was time to pass on with the times. I mean, the 70s were suddenly over, and the 90s,
well, the big green belt that Hogan wore, that Backlund actually brought in, only lasted about 2 years. And then they went to the silver one very quickly, though that only lasted about 1 year.
What's about that?
Yeah, they really did switch the title quite a few times in the 80s before they stuck with Winged Eagle.
Yep. They did. They definitely had a run of different championship belts. Who do you think the wrestler of the year was in this magazine? Now, remember, it's only going to be WWF.
This is 84, you
Hulk
said?
Hogan.
About 83, 84. I mean, figuring on the storylines that are in the magazine and that it's probably a good 2 months behind. So you got Backlund losing the title, Hogan winning it. That was January of 83 or 84. Did it just turn 84?
1984, the day Hulkamania was born, brother.
Okay, so we're talking about January of 84. Who was the wrestler of the year?
Maybe Bob Backlund.
Jay?
I'll say Tito.
Purist?
I guess
Want
it's
to guess?
Tito.
All right, we got two for Tito. And the winner is Superfly.
Again?
Ah,
Wrestler of the year.
Choice, but nope.
That might have been before his problems.
Jeez.
Yeah, probably right around that time. Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. Maybe Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. And they did a little write-up on him.
I never realized what the buzz on the Hot Stuff was. I mean,
He was a great wrestler. He really was. He was solid in the ring. He wasn't the biggest guy, but he was good on the mic, really good on the mic. And
I do recall something about quitting the Leatherface job in Japan or something like that.
I'm not familiar with that one. It's possible. I just don't know that story. So much.
Trust me, there was a federation in Japan in which they used horror movie wrestlers like Leatherface or Freddy Krueger or even Jason or something like that. I'm not kidding. It's true. I saw that at the end of the 2000s.
I mean, you're talking about
yeah.
Oh my God, which promote?
Wayne?
That might have been Wing. You're talking about the one that Sabu always went to, right? Where they do all the deathmatch tournaments.
Iowa?
I don't know. I've got one of them here, but I don't think it was Wing. It was Onita's promotion. Whatchamacallit?
Oh, the FMW, was it?
Yeah, FMW, I think it was.
Ah, yeah. FMW.
Did they have
something
leather
like that.
face and stuff like that? Yeah.
I mean, there was even a show of FMW in which they invited ECW. You know what Heyman said? We're gonna bring death matches in ECW. Well, sure did, because I never recall anything of the likes of.
Primetime's asking if you remember the MSG shows being on TV. Hell yes, we look forward to those.
Yep.
I did not have cable at that time, so I had to always get over to a friend's house that did to watch them. And at that time, at least early on in the MSG shows, if you didn't see it live, it'd be on USA Network like a week or two later as part of their USA WWF night.
Yeah.
And now we have Mud Show Wrestling on Prime TV, TBS.
Some full color posters.
What a journey it
For
has
what?
been.
$6. Back in the day, you could get a poster for $6, and now that snooker one my friend had up on the wall. You could sell these same posters today and make a lot more than $6. I can tell you that right now.
I have an Eddie Guerrero poster and an Undertaker one.
There you go. This was an oddity for a WWF magazine because these guys never wrestled in the WWF. But they got a 2-page spread just based on name recognition.
Oh, the Von Erichs. Okay.
Nice.
Interesting.
So it was cool to see that, because again, all I could watch back in the day was WWF. They didn't have the nationwide cable systems and TBS and all that stuff going at the time like they have now. So this was my first introduction at all to the Von Erichs. And I just assumed that we were going to be seeing them at some point in time, but then that never happened.
Well, one of them.
Ah, yes. Good
Well,
old
that's
Big.
true. That's true.
False
Kerry did.
promises, false hopes, but you're still gonna make me money.
Well,
That's what he
here
said to Paul
is
Heyman in
the
2001 when he
classic.
did that shoot promo.
Rowdy Roddy Piper, when he hadn't wrestled yet, he was only a manager at this point in time, and there are his proteges. Now, I didn't get to see Roddy Piper wrestling because I didn't know anything about NWA being in New York.
Well,
So
I did see.
I thought he was just a mouthpiece and all that. So didn't have a clue that he was actually going to get in the ring, get physical.
Well, I did see him when he was on Primetime Wrestling. You know that whole thing with Rick Rude and I mean, holy smokes! I never seen someone like him. And then I saw him in the promos of the Road.
Yep.
I mean, how crazy was one guy?
We got Sergeant Slaughter. At this point, he has become a hero and has gone to war with the Iron Sheik.
And then he went to war with Cobra.
Yeah, joined the G.I. Joe clan.
Saw the movie.
Apparently, Big John Studd had a Royal Rumble, or a Battle Royal win, I should say. That got him the title match opportunity against Hogan. I do recall that. Oh, look at this. Nice pictures. Again, they really did a good job of building up the Andre Studd battle leading into Mania, and this is still years in advance. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to see that A&E biography on WrestleMania 1 because it was so good. As much as I thought I was.
Holy Tide Evolution here.
Yeah.
What's that, Jay?
What?
No, Jay was saying something.
I was just going to say I finished it earlier today. So
What'd you think?
I thought it was really good. A lot of stuff I didn't know about it, so it had a lot of information I hadn't heard before. So,
and I didn't think that was going to be possible. I figured by now I've heard it all, I've seen it all. I was living in New York, so what else? But yeah, there was stuff in there, and I was like, "Holy cow!" Didn't know. Of course, he was a heel at the time because he was associated with Rowdy Roddy Piper, but Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, we might have booed him, but we couldn't ignore the fact that this guy was built.
Well, maybe with good old Vince no longer in charge, we'll get better content like that. Or maybe stuff we didn't know before would actually be revealed.
Could happen. Salvatore Bellomo, they had a little hobby section there, but I thought that was cool too, that they're showing wrestlers outside of the ring and what they like to do in their spare time.
Interesting.
Isn't it? See?
I'm-
You learn stuff here on the Nation.
Because you figure back then they wouldn't do anything like that to let you know what they're doing outside.
Well, you got to remember, he just came in. They're trying to push him as a baby face. So,
Oh, yeah.
and here's another 2-page spread for him. So I think at this point in time, they were really trying to get him over. And it worked. We were cheering for him, and then he started losing all the damn time. Seemed like a wasted effort getting him over.
Well, what do you expect from a jobber?
Well, that time he wasn't really a jobber. He was kind of a mid-card, so he could win or lose. You didn't know with him. It wasn't like SD where you just knew he was going to lose every night. This is cool. 2 newcomers. Dr. D. David Schultz and B. Brian Blair, one half of the Killer Bees.
All right.
They did start David Schultz, you know?
Schultz, they did a great job on him all the
A
time.
shame how it ended. I mean, his career, that is.
It wasn't so bad. He did what he wanted to do.
Oh, yeah. And then he became a bloody,
Bounty hunter.
You know?
Made good money doing that too. Plus, he got to do what he likes, smack people around.
I do remember that promo when he had the gun, you know? Whoa! And for the first time, I saw the real Vince McMahon. You stupid idiot! You idiot!
Now, Vince McMahon put him up to it.
That was Vince McMahon before Vince McMahon, I tell you.
They had the mailbag back then where you would send in letters and they would publish certain letters or whatever, and different shots of the superstars that they're referring to in these little notes.
Yep, now all you have to do is send them a tweet.
Right.
And for the WWF,
It's
what would be the better thing to have on your back cover other than alcohol?
I was expecting.
Eat your vitamins, drink your milk,
say
say your prayers, and make sure you have a shot of Cuervo. Brother. Talk about mixed messaging.
You know, for kids.
What we got here? Piper was heel, face in Mid-Atlantic and Georgia. Yes, he was. I just didn't get to see that because I lived in New York and there was no coverage.
Yep.
And at that time, I was probably just getting ready. Yeah, because like I said, this is where I started collecting magazines. Was with these 2 issues that I've got right here that we just went through. Those are the first 2 wrestling magazines I ever bought. And then from there, I started getting the PWI and all the other stuff and seeing about and reading about the guys and the girls that I wasn't able to see in person or on TV. And then when I moved down south here to Florida, all of a sudden, the world opened up for me and I got to see everything I've been reading about Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, and all that good stuff. And it was so entertaining. That brings us now all the way to the very end, which is the last issue ever. Try to see if the date's not posted on here somewhere. No, if it is, it's in the small print, then I ain't gonna make that out. Anyway, it had on the cover the hottest team in the world of wrestling at the time, the Shield.
Yeah. At least
And
at the time when one of them was good. Now,
well, at that time they were all doing well, but
yeah, despite Vince and his
so there's a little bit
lazy
of a time
booking.
frame.
Well,
WWE 2K15, so that can give you an idea how long ago this was.
no,
Trying to remember how that
2K14 was
was.
the last game I bought for the PS3, okay? When it passed to PS4, I stopped. Mostly because when it came to the PS3, well,
Big Train, what were you
was
saying?
2K14, but rehashed.
No, I was just trying to remember how that was as a game. Trying to think back.
15, let me see this again. Had Cena
Just
on the
stuck my
cover?
head on 2K22 I am now. I mean,
And that was the first time they brought Sting into the franchise too, if you pre-ordered. 15, I don't remember. Which one had CM Punk? Because I thought 15 had Punk.
13.
13? Oh, well, I'm way
He
off
was on
that.
the cover of that one. He was in the cover, and that was when all the NWO guys were in there, right? Like-
Maybe.
Like even
Yes,
Vincent or something like that. They had all the jabroni NWO in there too.
I think so. I think you're right. All right, next page. We're pushing See No Evil. What a great movie. Not.
Good God. I think they made a sequel. Somebody made a sequel.
No,
to
I
that,
was
too.
hyped for the first movie and when it was coming out, you know. I mean,
Heard they were gonna make a
saw it.
sequel.
I
I don't
mean,
know if they
Ping
did.
was a perfect Jason-like monster back in the time. Now he's a nut job, just like Trump.
All right, so over here, we got Roman Reigns hanging out with his daughter, which kind of ruins the image of him being an ultimate badass today.
I remember that commercial.
Yes. Be a dad.
I didn't see anything bad about it. I mean,
Nothing bad about it. I'm just saying they're trying to make him a hard-edged, badass guy, and all of a sudden he's playing with a tea set with his daughter. So, but back then he wasn't the bad guy. He was actually a baby face, so it worked.
well,
I don't think they got
all,
one like
I mean,
today.
At least it's not as if, I don't know, they forced it.
Speaking of the
to do
tribal
this.
chief,
Before it was the tribal chief. Back then
I'll
it
be
was the
honest with
Hound.
you. If when the Shield was like a hot deal, if somebody would have told me only one of these guys is going to go on to superstardom, I don't know if I'd have picked him.
I did. I mean, even back then he had the body.
I would have went with Rollins, actually.
I would have, if somebody told me that and I had to pick one, I might have gone with Rollins as well, even though I wasn't really invested in Rollins and still not. I got to admit it worked out the way it should have, because now I'm big time into Roma. I enjoy what he's doing very much.
At least he's doing good, Rollins, now. I mean, at
he's
least with
doing
Triple H
great.
is doing good now. But I have something to say. I would like to say something, if I may.
Sure.
You know, when it came to Clash of the Castle, I mean, sure, I liked how the match went, but if it was me, I would have done better. I mean, I would have made this a fight pit, honestly. I mean, imagine that. I mean, imagine if Riddle, after that interview stuff, said, you know what? At first, I just wanted to teach you some humility. Now, I just want to kick your ass. You want me at Wales? Good. But this is no longer a normal match. We're way past that. You want me? I'll see you in the fucking fight pit.
That could work.
I think that'll be at Extreme Rules, but
No,
With
Yeah.
less dialogue.
we're gonna have it anyway. By the way.
So they had a big battle royal here that they were featuring. What else we got in here of any substance? Oh my goodness. Oh, I guess they were doing flashbacks of the different eras of the WWF Magazine. And here we got a classic moment from the Berserk Bob Backlund, who made that return. Mr. Backlund at the time, taking out the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Oh no.
Yeah, oh no. But I do like that move. I mean,
Yeah, the
it takes
crossface
some
stick and
strength
hold was
to do
legit,
something
because
like
me and my
that.
friends would put it on each other, and I can tell you right now, that fucker hurts.
You can say
Oh,
that
here's one of
again.
my all-time favorites. Miss AJ Lee. And that Black Widow also looks so good because, yeah, you can put it on anybody pretty much. And it looks like it'd be a hell of a painful thing, although if she's applying it, I wouldn't mind trying. Just saying. Now, times have changed. We went from T-shirts to multiple
Toy.
articulation action figures.
Well, I did bought that. I mean, I love toys. I mean, I do have something like, my father, who went to work in Santo Domingo for some time, came back. I mean, it's no businessman, but he went to Santo Domingo and he bought me from America an Undertaker figure from the SummerSlam of 2004. And that was when, it was a day later after I went to Rome in 2005. I saw Road Warrior Animal, Undertaker versus Randy Orton. I was still sad about when Eddie died, though, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I was hoping to see him.
definitely. All right, their advertising here is for the Total Divas. That was actually good for a season or two, but the whole thing was just scripted to the max.
At least the HAE
Yeah.
stuff was good. You know that promo she did?
Yep, she had her moment. Let's see.
And then Paige ruined it.
Oh, here's a good one. We got Rusev and Lana
No,
together.
no. It's Miro.
Well, you know what Lana spelled backwards means?
Took me a minute.
Thanks for making me think.
Know me?
All right, so this is going to be hard to show, but it's a pullout. And I want to be careful because I want to make sure it doesn't come out. And it's got multiple illustrations of The Undertaker throughout his career.
Wow.
That's
And
nice.
There's another one here on the back
That's
as
cool.
you fold it back up again. And then when you fold it up again, it says "Rest in Peace, WWF Magazine."
In peace.
And then on the
I think
final
that's it.
flip side of that, we've got the most recent at that time, Undertaker.
As you can see, I'm quite of a Jason Sensation guy. Well, I try to be.
Oh god, another great movie they were advertising. Leprechaun. That'll put asses in the seats.
No, not seats. From what I recall, it was on TV.
No, that
Oh,
was it went to the theater, it just didn't do very well.
Yeah, no.
Well, besides the Marine, tell me some other WWE studio movie that went well.
They did have one good one. The one with the 911 call agent that was Halle Berry, I think.
30 rounds. Yeah, I have the movie. I have the movie Italian.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
No, it was something else.
30 rounds. Or 12 rounds.
It could have been. Now
The first 12 rounds with John Cena?
No, there's a different one, I think, because the 12 rounds was a ripoff of Die Hard. Die Hard 2 to be
Still
more
like-
precise.
Still like it. I mean,
And
I
that
even watched
in 12
that.
rounds.
It was kind of the
12
same
rounds
thing.
was
where every
Randy
time you
Orton,
had a
wasn't it?
mission to accomplish. So Primetime saying that the Marine in 10 rounds. But what was the one that had Halle Berry like as a call center, 911 call center? The girl's kidnapped in a car.
Oh, it's Bleed a Lot. It's that. 10 rounds reloaded.
Because it wasn't any wrestlers, I don't think, in this one. I think it was the first WWE movie that they put real movie stars in. What a thought. And it didn't suck.
What are you talking about?
And I might be throwing us off with Halle Berry. I think it was Halle Berry. And if not,
it was Halle Berry. I remember the film.
Okay. What the hell was the name of that thing? All right, somebody out there, Primetime, you'll look it up for us and get it.
Yes.
But that movie wasn't bad. Not that WWE had anything to do with this one, but Stone Cold's movie, Condemned, was a good friggin' movie.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
I do remember the rivalry with Santino Marella.
Yes, that was pretty funny,
All
actually.
we
that
knew
interview.
was when.
That's 90 minutes of my life I know can get back.
Yeah, you're the Cobra. Look. Huh?
Oh, boy, you want to talk about a blast from the past. And this is the most recent episode or issue of the magazine.
Party time all the time.
That's right. Mr. Adam Rose in the house. I liked him. I loved the entrance. I thought he was fun. But then again, I also liked the not Luchasaurus, but Tyrus's WWF gimmick.
Funkasaurus.
Funkasaurus. There you go. I thought that was fun too.
Oh,
When he made that debut, Jim Ross, you could tell he wasn't in on it. Jim Ross didn't know what to expect. Because right after he got done with that long ass intro, he just looked at Jim Ross. Didn't see that coming, did you?
You kidding me?
No, I did not.
Even I didn't. I mean, we got all this time we got these promos of Brothers Clay coming in, and then it was, hey, somebody called my mama. Hey, somebody called my mama. I'm a fat motherfucker. Somebody.
Naomi.
But now he's doing good in the NWA. As Tyrus is doing good, trust me.
Yeah, in the NWA that nobody's really watching too much.
Wasn't his name Brodus Clay?
Yes, that's it. That's it.
It took me a while to figure it as like.
Me too.
I mean, at least it's good than.
And then they kind of wrapped up with this, which was the last will and testament, and basically had different wrestlers making mock last will and testaments and things they wanted to go out saying and things like that. So, but even here you see Stardust and Moxley before he was Moxley.
That bleed a lot.
Let's
And
see
where's
what else
Vince,
we got
huh?
here.
Where's Vince? I know what he said. Life sucks and you die.
There's another shot right there. And what's this? Oh, this is pretty cool. They did a very short comic book with the Brothers of Destruction.
See your Bobert in it. Oh yes!
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Thank you, Ben.
This didn't last very long.
Oh god, yeah.
I'll never forget that one year at WrestleMania the next day when they did Monday Night Raw and the entire crowd in New Jersey
Yeah, that was after his debut.
sang
at
his
WrestleMania,
song
yep.
after the show was done into the subway system, and there were like people's cell phone videos going around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, they got to push him after that. Nope. The
Nope.
movie was called The Call. That was the only WWE movie that was a movie, and it didn't suck. Thank you, Primetime. I knew you'd come through.
The call of what? Of who?
Thank you, thank you, Google.
Yeah, thank you. I don't care how you get it. Just get it, man. It's one of those things that's going to keep me awake all night if I don't have to.
Where? I don't have the phone. Where? Where?
What is this? Nah, that's nothing there.
Call me maybe. Yeah.
A little bit more of people just kind of giving their thoughts and memories of WWF Magazine over the years. Getting near the end of this one, and you can see The Miz doing his routine on top of the announce table.
By the way, which year was it? I mean, from what I see, it seems like.
Oh, it had
2015.
2K15 in it, so it had to be right around then.
I think.
Yeah,
Before WrestleMania?
Then we got another shot here.
Wyatt.
The Wyatt's in the house. Got Brock Lesnar and Triple H shaking hands.
By the way, you guys really think that Wyatt will really return? I mean, I don't think so. What am I saying? I mean, I think
All right,
I
here's
do.
something.
Where's this feeling?
One of you guys might be familiar with this. I'm not. There's a DVD for sale for a movie called Queens of the Ring. Anybody?
No.
I don't own it, but I think I've seen it.
Queens of the Ring. Never even heard of it until just now, I don't think. Let's see, who we got in here? Well, it says The Miz is in it.
I don't know. I've
CM
watched so
Punk
much-
is in it, and Eve Torres. Well, I know I haven't seen it, because if I saw CM Punk in a movie, I'd know it. I'd probably still be seeing therapists.
Ah, yes, I know this movie, man. I know this movie. You
Cashiers
know,
by
it's a
day
great-
and divas by night.
You know,
Might
man,
have to
I
review
saw
this
this
one,
movie.
too.
I saw the lead scene of this movie, you know? It's when Punk goes ape shit and starts spewing shit out of everyone else on the
Queens of
media
the Ring.
scrum before the movie starts.
I'm gonna do a search, see if I can't locate that, hopefully on either Peacock or... By the way, yeah, you said that you watched the Zombies wrestling thing, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I did too, and that was
I
not an
did, I
easy
only-
thing to
I
do.
watched the trailer.
D-Train, you got the Peacock?
I got the. I almost
Yeah.
said it. Yeah, I almost got. Yeah.
You almost
I
said
have
it. It's on there, man.
I know
We're gonna
it
be
is.
reviewing this real soon.
At least it ain't Spectrum.
And now I might have to add that one to the list that we just saw. And then they're selling a yearbook for 2014. So we're somewhere near 2014, 2015 when this one.
I did 14. I knew it. I had a feeling.
And then on the very back cover, every pay-per-view for just how much? $9.99.
$9.99.
God.
And if they didn't get their traction out of that little promo for I don't know how long, that was a running thing for almost every time they got in the ring and cut promos on each other. And I'm gonna kick your ass next week at the pay-per-view, and you can all watch it for just $9.99.
At least a good year and a half, big time.
They milked it for sure. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to say goodbye to Wrestling Purists for now, but stick around on the stream because me, Train, and Jay got something we're going to go over here. It's been a pleasure having you on here for the review of not PWI this time, but this time it was the WWF Magazine.
I was good to meet you guys, you know. You are fine people.
Thank you so much.
You too, sir.
Arrivederci, folks. Arrivederci.
And we'll be back in just a moment as soon as I can find what I'm looking for. And I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
You'll be back?
Nation Network! What's going on? Hey, it's CVV, Chris Van Vliet, and you guys are crushing it. I want to send you a big congratulations on the 2,000 subscribers. 2K22 is unbelievable, and I love that everybody's kind of jumping on board here and realizing how great the content that you're putting out is. So, for the community, a big thank you for being part of the Nation Network, and you guys are just getting started. Woo! Keep it going.
All right, here we go. We are going to take a quick shift in gears and talk a little bit about expectations for AEW this evening following all of the... Figure it out. Is it work? Is it legit? What's going on, man?
Everything that I've heard, everything I've read, and I've covered Twitter, I've watched YouTube, everything. I don't think it's a work. Could, if they can get everybody on the same page, can it be? Absolutely. But I do not think this was a work. I think Punk took it upon himself, like always, to air laundry that shouldn't have been aired there. And everybody just blew up backstage. I mean, we've got suspensions now. So I guess tonight, the way I see it, I can see Tony Khan coming out, stripping Punk of the title, and we have a tournament for it.
If that happens, then I'm going to say it's probably legit. I'm still thinking it's a work. It's a work shoot, and they're just... But because it's detrimental to their product to do that, unless you have no choice. Okay?
Absolutely.
Now, why do you strip Punk? If the all right, let's go with the stories that I've heard, and if you've heard different, let me know. But what I have heard is this: after the interview, Punk's in his dressing room, and they come into his dressing room. When you come at me 3 deep, and you're all hot and bothered, and I just basically challenge you to kick your ass, but you come in 3 at me, I am now in a hostile environment, and I'm going to defend myself to the best of my abilities. And he is professionally trained as an MMA fighter. So if your geek ass thinks you're going to kick his ass, give it a shot. But it's no surprise to me that, you know, it ended up the way it allegedly ended up. Now, have you guys heard anything different than they came into his locker room and projected themselves on him?
I mean, I've heard the same thing, that they came in, that they actually had to kick his door in to get inside.
Okay, that's even worse. Yeah, that's even worse now.
But, I mean,
So how do you strip that
the
guy
only
of the
thing I can
title?
say is that they've got to get... I think if they strip it, it's going to come down from the network, because this has been too much bad press in too short of a time, and this might have just been the straw that broke the camel's back, with the network saying, look, get your shit in control or you're done.
Well, what, DJ, you got something going on in your mind there. What's going on?
I'm just thinking, if it was a work, wouldn't it be smart to actually film some of that to make it more interesting?
No, because then we'd know it's a work.
True.
I mean, I'll say this. If Tony was going to make it a work, then they would have thought this exactly the way it is. And that's why I say it's brilliant if it is. Because when we say it's down to the net, and that's why I don't think it can be. Because if they were this good at writing, the regular product wouldn't be so shitty. But if you didn't know, when Jericho finished up his part of the scrum, this issue had already happened. And Tony's still sitting at the table the whole time. And as Jericho leaves, he goes behind Tony and says, hey, some shit went down. And it barely gets picked up on the microphone, just barely. But if they were that detailed about it, to do it to that level, this is brilliant.
Well,
see, the thing is, I can't see it being a work, because by doing this, you just basically overshadowed everything that happened at the pay-per-view. MJF coming back, the spectacular tag team match that was there, just everything. You made it about Punk, and so why'd we have a 5-hour pay-per-view if you were going to do that shit at the end?
Because you got to turn the page. You got to make Punk the heel. MJF was coming back as a babyface. There was no two ways about it, whether he wanted it or not. So he'll be the anti-establishment guy like Stone Cold Steve Austin was, which God knows that brought in the greatest money in the history of wrestling. So how do we turn him heel? Well, that worked pretty well, because a lot of people right now, I was already kind of fed up with him. And then he got to that point where he made me completely fed up with him. Although, at the same time, and I have no reason to doubt that it's not true, if everything he said about Colt Cabana is accurate, and I believe it is, I think he does have these emails that he says he has, because otherwise he's setting himself up for a liability suit, and he knows that. Then, you know what? Fair is fair. I mean, Colt Cabana threw him under the bus in public a long time ago.
True.
Is there a better time and place? Maybe, but...
And see, that's why I look at it, is that coming from having done this, even though it was on the independents, if I would have went out and buried the company I was working for, it'd been over. I can't see how you could do this. And if it is a work, Tony Khan needs an award for the facial expressions he was given, because those were my,
that was the residual effect of the drugs. Those eyes, it's like, I'm like, damn, go easy on the speed, buddy.
Tony Khan's over his head just a little bit. He is slowly but surely losing control.
Missed it by that much.
I get it. Punk is the highest paid there. He's probably their one of their top two draws between him and MJF. But just past the media scrum, if the EVPs did break down the door and started a fight, then there definitely should be suspended too, because you can't have somebody in a position of power attacking people no matter what's said.
Yeah, I mean, that goes without saying. If this is legit. Now, again, this is why I can't take the belt from Punk and I can't suspend Punk. He's in his locker room. Whether they kicked the door down or opened the door and went in, either way, you are the aggressor. He didn't look for you. His words don't equal your actions. We taught that as small children. And to come 3 deep, what do you think is going to happen? So I don't suspend him, and I don't even like him, but I don't suspend him and I don't take the title from him, because he didn't do anything wrong. He spoke his mind. He said what he said. I gave him a platform to do that. That's on me if I'm Tony Khan. And not only the whole time he was going off and saying all this shit, Tony like a friggin' dog in the back window of the car.
But
he's bobbing his head.
Yeah.
He couldn't. What was he going to do? Punk controlled that. He's scared of Punk. I know at the end, when Punk left,
the mic.
Such a sweetheart. He ain't no sweetheart. Punk is a bastard. Everyone knows it. But
again, I'm not a fan of his. I was at one point in time, but that rose has faded away a long time ago. I do think he's a talented in-ring performer, but I think personality-wise, he's just a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah. But maybe, how can I say this? Obviously, the Bucks and them are already suspended, right? They might
Right.
lose the 6-man titles. I still call them 6-man trios, whatever.
Right.
They might end up losing those. Very possible.
Sounds like it.
If Punk is now supposedly seriously injured,
Yeah, I guess he got injured. Yeah, I guess he got injured doing one of the dives he did outside the ring.
At least you're having
Is
trouble
from what
with
I
guys
heard on
jumping
Sat.
off stuff.
Oh wait, Punk got injured again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a serious injury. So
His triceps, I
He needs
guess.
to just ride off into the sunset, man. Put your white
That's-
cowboy hat on, and we're black in your case, baby, and
That's
just
why-
ride off.
that's why I'm thinking, like, maybe his injury is kind of his way of, not saying he did it purposely, but maybe that's his suspension. And maybe they'll revisit it, see where he's at.
Well, again, this is why if it's a work, it's brilliant. Because say what you want about the network, they're going to have a different opinion after the ratings tonight. Now, whether those
Yeah.
ratings will carry over to next Wednesday is to be seen. But they're going to set close to, if not, CM Punk's debut was their record high.
Right.
I'm going to be curious to see if they don't beat it tonight.
But that was for Rampage.
Oh, I
not
guarantee
Dynamite.
it'll get beat tonight.
It was for Rampage, you're right, but it's still
But
their
yeah, I know
program.
overall in the scheme. I
It's
got
still
you.
their program, same basic time slot, time of night or what have you. And I would even argue that Rampage is a Friday night. People go out on Friday nights. They don't stay home and watch wrestling like where Wednesday you got work and school in the morning.
But Punk is definitely no
You're-
longer
you're-
the champion. No doubt about it.
Really? See, I'm not going to go there yet. Unless that injury is a legit thing and it's bad. What is he saying he injured?
Did it not?
His triceps.
Oh, is that what it is?
Jesus.
Yeah.
But you can't have another
Said he
interim
took-
champion because it's ridiculous.
No, I can't see him
No.
doing another interim. They'll have to just strip him and then hold a tournament for it.
So let me guess. They have a tournament. The winner of that faces MJF at the Full Gear pay-per-view
No, MJF just wins.
That's what I would say. Yeah.
because that's his hometown. MJF's hometown.
Doesn't. Man, oh man.
I know.
And I can
Here's
see
the
him
part.
putting somebody like having Miro or the TNT champion. Why can't I think of his name at the moment?
Wardlow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Make
God,
one of
no.
them win the tournament and then go against MJF.
Oh, well, that actually wouldn't be bad booking because Wardlow and MJF, not only that,
Yeah,
but
they
the
have
last time they
history.
met, Wardlow buried him. So
But-
that would
Yeah.
that's actually not bad booking at all, really.
But if MJF is back as a face, do you have face versus face for the title?
Well,
You
does he
could.
stay face?
Yeah, but
He
if-
only
But
stayed
if,
face with CM Punk.
but if Punk's not there, MJF can be the heel and they can put a face in there.
Which would be Wardlow.
I mean,
I
obviously,
think you only keep him as a heel if you got him going up against his foil has to be CM Punk.
Right.
I just don't see how you make that work any other way. Otherwise, why would they, right now, who's the hottest guy, and I mean, has the heat on him than CM Punk at this moment? Even in Chicago, I mean, hell, we were in Chicago. Punk won the world championship, and MJF had the deafening chance.
yeah, you sure did.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I'm more curious if they said Tony Khan's gonna make an announcement. Is this gonna be a off-camera deal where they announce something? Where
Oh,
Tony
no,
Khan
no,
does
no.
something?
Tony
Or
likes
is
the
he
ring.
out there.
I
If he's out
guarantee
there,
you,
that's what make it more interesting.
he'll be out there at the 9:00 hour, and that's when he'll make his announcement.
He's going
I
to
mean,
kick off the show. He's
I see
kicking
a
off
Tony
the show.
Khan MJF confrontation. I can see that.
Here's what I think. He kicks off the show. You might be right about the MJF thing. And they start a tournament tonight or something tonight gets started to figure out the championship. But there's no way he's not.
I can see that.
He almost has, even if he only comes out for the first hour to say, and the 9:00 hour, I'll have a final decision or something like that. Because I understand how they're going to want to draw ratings at
Right.
certain times of the program. But
yeah.
I just don't know how you're going to be able to not address this issue at the beginning of the show when it's
Yeah,
the
no
hottest
kidding.
topic in the industry.
Right.
I can only imagine what MJF's going to say on a microphone tonight. Oh my God, he's got so much fuel. So much fuel.
Another
Not
part of
only
the story
him, I can see. I was just going to say, I can see Max Caster. They're going to have to make sure they look over his rap for tonight, because if not,
Yeah, supposedly did a rap on Swerve and them that they didn't like either. So there's some stuff going on. But the most interesting part of the story, after they have it revealed, is there's still like lawyers / police, some kind of legal stuff going on too. So,
But how-
the
How do
legal
we know
stuff,
that's legit?
I mean,
I mean, are
if
there
it's
real
legal,
lawyers involved?
maybe
or are they
Punk
just
did say,
saying it?
I'm done, and they're working out his contract to take care of, if Punk really wanted out after all this, that could be the legal stuff. But as far as like they contacted the police, they have no record of any police action being filed or anything like that. So I'm thinking this has to do with people's contracts.
And that's the other thing
could
too.
be.
Let's assume this is an actual shoot for a minute. Let's go that route. Let's pretend this is all legit. This really happened. Tony's in a really bad spot
sure is.
because you already have. We did that
Yeah.
little mock thing about how many people want out of contracts, right? You have just now produced
Yeah.
the epitome of an unsafe work environment
Oh,
by
yeah.
having your VPs attack another performer in his locker room.
And talent are just going off
Yep.
on the mic saying stuff that's
So how can you possibly not be in breach of contract at that point where they can just say, and I just heard, and I don't know if it's true, Malachi is released. There are
Yep.
stipulations on it.
Yes, he
I'm
is.
sure one is that you can't show
Yep.
up on Raw tomorrow or
of course.
SmackDown. But at the same time, how long can that last? Not the length of the contract, the original.
Well,
Maybe 90
from what I
days,
heard
guess.
from what I heard with Malachi, he was granted his release due to his mental issues. Basically, they said he's basically going to sit at home on his contract for a year, get paid, get better, and then once that year's up, he's free to go do what he wants.
Oh, I'd hate to see him gone for a year, but if he really needs to do that, I mean, if that wasn't just a bullshit story to get out of Tony Khan's organization and
Right.
that he's really dealing with issues, then by all means, yeah, I want to see him get well.
Well, now think of
Right.
this. I don't remember the full report on the Eddie Kingston Sammy Guevara thing, right? They got suspended for what, a couple weeks, and that was hardly anything.
Right. And that was a
Yeah.
pie-face situation,
If
though. I
this
mean,
is
you weren't
legit, what
fighting
do you do?
people and hitting them with chairs in the head.
Yeah, if you do this, all of them should get 90 days sitting at home.
Well, you have to fire the Bucks from that position. They can still wrestle,
Yeah,
but they can't be vice presidents anymore. That goes without saying. If you keep them on, you are now massively
Right.
liable for the next one.
Although I also did hear before this live
Yeah.
stream that about 90% of the locker room is kind of on the Young Bucks side.
It does seem to be tilting. It wasn't initially. It was like a 50-50 split initially. And there has definitely been a tilt. And speaking of that, you brought up a good point. Let me bounce over here to the actual channel. And I put a poll up yesterday, and it started out early on where it was a big lead for Team Elite. And I said, who do you stand with, Team Punk or Team Elite? And then it closed the gap a little bit, and now it is not devastating, but it is definitely Team Elite with 61% of the vote right now on our channel. So by all means, if you haven't already voted and you want to, go ahead and do that. Just go over to our YouTube channel and click on the community tab, and you'll see it right there on top. So a lot of people seem to have lost their love for the CM Punk thing. Now, I still say, if this is all legit, then while I don't like the guy personally, and I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says and does, In this particular instance, he is perfectly fine in my eyes in doing what he did because his boss sat next to him and did not control that interview any better. So if you're giving me the green light to speak, don't be giving me shit about it afterwards.
Well,
And you must think something of me if you're putting your title on me not once but twice.
at the same time, I think Tony Khan is scared of CM Punk.
He's scared to lose the money that comes with CM Punk.
Well, that too, yes. But
He's
I mean,
brought him
that's
his best buy rates,
but-
his highest merch sales.
He was warned about it before he signed him, though. And being a wrestling fan, he should have known how he was in WWE.
Sorry, I'm just reading some reports as we're going along here. All right, so 2 new things. All right, well, apparently they held a talent meeting today, I'm sure. But now this is interesting. I'm not reading the article, but AEW legal head reportedly saw post-brawl.
Is it real?
Well, I don't know. Let me read the report while you go on. I'll see if something pops up what's there. But
And where are we getting this information from?
I've seen this on a couple different wrestling sites right now. I'm not saying there. I know. Let me
Well,
read
again,
see where-
it's brilliant. If this is a work, it is historically the best ever. And full credit for that if they can pull this off and if that turns out to be the case. Here's my thing. For all these other people that desperately want out of their contract and that want to go back to the WWE, if this was legit, you're going to be hearing about it real soon. They're going to be saying, not only do I want out, you're going to let me out, and this is why.
Right. Yep.
Now that let's say it's a work. They can still play that card, and now you have a choice to make. Let me out of my contract or tell the world it was a work. And
Yeah.
that's why you don't have to let me out of my contract. So this is a hell of a dangerous game if it is a work for Tony to be playing, because he can lose either way if it is a work. He's not going to do great
This
if
is
it's a
true.
shoot either.
So apparently this is from Dave Meltzer.
There we go, Uncle Dave.
So apparently, reported neutral parties were witness. One of them was said to be that lady, that legal head. Witnessed altercation between the Elite Punk and Ace Steels. She was confirmed to saw. We know who was all suspended. I guess Ace Steel was suspended, but still could be fired, depending on what the investigation finds. And Punk's status is still not determined. And Tony Khan will address the status of the titles, all the 2 titles tonight. So,
That I saw. The 6-man. You just crowned him. Gee. Well, both champions.
That's the bad part.
Punk winning the title has been a bad thing for him. He gets hurt each time.
Well, that's the least of your worries at this moment.
Well, yeah.
Could be a lot worse than just that.
Well, if that lady saw that, she's not going to take no crap. I mean,
it wouldn't it be convenient and coincidental that the legal representation happened to be there to eyewitnesses when so few others were.
Right.
True.
Just saying.
Well, you know what? If Punk got fired, I wouldn't be surprised. If he gets suspended, wouldn't be surprised. If he gets suspended and eventually does come back and they do some kind of an angle, I wouldn't be shocked either. Because they do have a ready-made angle there if they actually...
Yeah. Boy, you know who looks like gold right now? MJF.
Oh, yeah, he's in a money spot right now.
Oh, my God. I don't know how much of this last 3 months. I'm guessing it was all scripted. That's what I'm saying. They try to make everything look like a shoot, so you're never 100% sure. But I don't think any of us really believed that he would get that deep on a microphone without them cutting the feed or going to commercial if that were legit. But that all said,
right.
God damn, you can't fire me now. You can't let my contract run out.
And does MJF say something about Punk in rebuttal? Because Punk
he might not go. He might not mention the names.
Yeah.
But he will make reference that you'll know exactly who he's talking.
Oh yeah,
because Punk wasn't too complimentary about MJF in that media scrum either. So
Yeah, but now
No,
if it's
he said
legit, there's lawyers involved.
Yeah.
True. So it's probably like, yeah, don't mention his name. Just say the title's vacant. Whoever is injured, I don't know. This should be very interesting in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well,
Yeah,
I'll tell you
prime
what,
time's
we don't
right.
have to wait
It is a
long
hot
to find
mess.
out. We are not going to have to wait long to find out. Depending how tired I am when this whole thing is said and done tonight, I might jump back on again right after.
Just for like a quick kind of
Like a 30-minute wrap up or something like that. We'll see.
I'll look for it. I'll look for it.
Yeah, this will be fun. So, all right.
Fine.
Well, in the meantime, I'm going to go get ready.
Yeah, same here.
for what might be the most entertaining thing they've done in AEW.
Where's Michael Buffer when you need him?
Yeah,
Right.
Use them in the locker room, realistically. All right, everyone. Well, thank you guys for being here. Purist, thank you for joining us earlier on this evening or afternoon.
Yes, sir.
And it's been a fun episode of PWI, even though we went with the WWF Magazine to cover the history of that book and what it brought to the world of professional wrestling. We'll get back into some more PWI type stuff, though, on the next one. And we're going to try and do this every Wednesday at 6-ish. That's the plan. And then Saturdays at 6 is going to be the Superstar Pro Wrestling Classic calls because, again, you guys seem to like that, and I had fun with it. So, and then in between, we'll just sprinkle in some of the normal 2K crapola.
Last question. Any new update on ODB? Because I saw she did Vince Russo's podcast.
No, I did send her a text the other day, and I haven't heard back from her yet. So I don't know what her schedule looks like. Normally Tuesday seems to be the best day for her. The Vince Russo thing, was that on a Tuesday?
Yeah, that was.
That was.
There you go.
I didn't really watch the whole thing. I think she was driving in her car or riding in her car or something.
And that's what I'm guessing too. I know she's busy, so I don't want to pester her. I figure I'll drop her a message every week or so, and just whenever it works for her, we'll get her back. I'm looking forward to it though, because she was so much fun to talk to back when she was staying where I was working at, and I know we'd have a good conversation. So
no, fair enough. I was just curious because I saw her and I'm like, oh, I wonder if she's maybe you're gonna have an update on that. But
yeah, as soon as I know, I promise I will get the word out to you guys.
All right, fair enough.
All right. Have a great rest of the night. Like I said, we'll probably jump back on here right after Dynamite explodes. Don't get too close to TV. Implodes, explodes. It's going to be a mess, no doubt about it. All right, take it easy. We'll see you back here ringside probably later tonight. Until then, Vince McSham for J&D Train saying so long and good night.